buttons that say share the link, okay? And one says just share and the other one says join. So, oh my God.
It's
Anyway,
YouTube
hi
fault.
everyone. Okay, well, how are you doing? Because your
Me?
arm, your poor
Oh, me.
elbow.
I'm like, how can I demonstrate this? I can have one arm out straight. This is my good arm, and then straight as the other arm goes. It doesn't go any straighter.
That looks
But
like an
it's
improvement.
yeah. It's just. Oh wait, I have feedback. What's happening? What is happening? Weird.
From me or you?
From me. I hear us both.
I
wonder if that's better. Maybe.
Tell me. Echoes?
I think. Sorry. Hi, hello. I'm just, it's because I had headphones on. I think that was the problem. But yeah, no, my arm is okay. It's really swollen, and it's just, I'll show the bruise. I won't show the incision because it's kind of nasty, McNasty town. But yeah, I'm doing it as okay as I can, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you have been crocheting?
A lot. I have a lot. I'm looking over the side here, and I have, oh my gosh, I have 60.
Oh my God. Well, you know what's funny is I'm also crocheting. So,
oh yay.
So we should have said crochet in chat.
Should have. Yeah, I have a whole bunch. Aren't they fun?
Oh, I like the palette a lot.
It's just
cute.
Like a whole bunch, and it's, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have enough. But I have one more skein left of this. This is like the Canadian version of Spin Cycle.
Okay.
So it's called Yarn Hero.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's, how much is a skein of Spin Cycle in the US?
50 grams.
No, but like
cost.
Yeah.
They just raised their prices, so it's $34 a skein.
Okay, so then this is like a skein of Spin Cycle DK, not Spin Cycle, the Yarn Hero DK in Alberta. Anyway, it's about 30, retails for about 34 Canadian. So
for us, that's like, hold on,
that's like $12.
Yeah, I'm like, so it'd be worth it to pay the shipping.
Yeah, but I have that, and then I have, because I know I'm not gonna have enough to do, I have to do another 32.
Whoa.
Little square dudes. So I have this hand sponge.
Ooh.
Isn't that fun?
Every time I see something that is in your color palette, I'm like, your color palette is pink lemonade.
Yeah. I think that this is the one, the yarn shop that like I teach at, they had they started going to a mill and making their own whatchamacallit, rovings. So they're like combing their own rovings, and they were doing colors inspired by all the people that work there.
Oh.
So I'm pretty sure that this is my colorway. I think it might be my colorway.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, there's glitter in it too, so it's
amazing.
Quite fun. But yeah,
yeah, I'm doing so I'm trying to use up my scraps. So I've just been making these like bonkers magic knot balls that are like, this is over 100 grams of just like, I just like wind them. And so I have like all of these. And then I just turn them into these like big granny squares, and I'm attaching them as I go.
Cool.
So I have an L right now. It's bonkers.
Cute. Oh man, so close to making a weird shirt.
Right. I actually just saw someone post on TikTok a pattern for a granny square shirt with like a collar. and I really wanna make it.
I don't know about everybody else, but I'm like, I feel like Granny Square, it's like a huge I don't know if just my algorithm is doing it, but,
Yeah,
it's
it's happening.
they're everywhere. And I'm like, I know, like, the D20 sock and all that stuff, and, like, what if you did a D20 Granny Square
Mhm,
or something? I don't know.
mhm. I feel like people are gonna do that. I think you need to make, like, the, balaclava, granny square balaclava.
I saw somebody walking with one of those here when it was, like, minus, I don't know, 30 Celsius or something, and, man, she looked like this, like, little elfin hobbit person, like, walking down the street, and, like, I don't know, she looks so cool, and, like, big oversized jackets and oversized clothes, and this is, like, huge, like, oversized, uh, balaclava hood. It wasn't even a balaclava, it was just like a hood, like a
Yeah.
granny hood, but I was like, "Dude, is that" I think that was just acrylic yarn. I'm like, "That's not gonna keep you warm."
I know, that's the funny thing about it, is, like, we know better
No,
about the yarn, and so we could make these, like I don't know. I feel like maybe I need to make a balaclava. I feel Kay's judgment from behind.
no, because, you'll make them one, and then you can match.
Would you wear a granny square balaclava with me?
Yes. Just for pictures, just for pictures.
I mean, maybe if we lived in Boston still, it would make a little more sense, but it's not very cold here. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the chat on my
Oh, on your
oops,
other
oops.
it's, like,
What
coming up on the side. I'm on my iPad, so I'm just like,
here
"Ooh,
it is.
Sandra's gonna do a muscle burrow."
I know that's such a good idea.
Ooh, oh my gosh, I tried to cast on a muscle burra, and I lasted 5 minutes before I was like, "Fuck this," and I threw it away because I could not. I was just like, "Oh, yeah, nope, no, I can't do top down. Nope, that's not gonna work. Nope." I'd
Oh,
rather
like not even injury-wise, just, like,
no,
period.
no, this is like a month ago. No,
Okay.
or more than a month ago, and I was just like, "I can't. It's too finicky." Like,
It is so
can't
finicky at
do
the
it.
beginning.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Were
I
you trying to do it on DPNs?
I think so.
Magic loop is the way
Mm,
to go for that beginning part.
mm. I could even do, like, what is it? Before Magic Loop, I, like, DPNs and I did everything on 2 circulars
Oh,
instead.
yeah.
Yeah, that could
But
work.
no, that first little part, I've had a lot of people come to, like, the knitting help sessions that I teach just to start the muscle burra, and
Oh,
I'm like, "You can't do this on DPNs." I'm like, "It's nearly impossible."
oh my god. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Okay, everyone is excited about the D20
Sweet.
knit along, which I'm excited about.
When does that start again, Mackenzie?
April 1st. And it's not April Fool's Day.
April 1st in, like, where I grew up is, Remembrance Day, actually, in Newfoundland.
What does
Or no,
that
it's not Remembrance Day. Jeez Louise, I'm a dummy. No,
what's
April
Remembrance Day?
1st April 1st in Newfoundland, that's when Newfoundland joined Canada in
Okay.
1949 was April 1st. So I don't know what who was in on the joke, if it was Canada or Newfoundland. But,
They were
uh,
like, "Just kidding."
but yeah, another there's a Remembrance Day too, but, like, it's kind of like a Veterans Day type of thing,
Mhm.
but that's in July around, like, Canada Day, 4th of July type of thing.
We had, like, 2 Canadians joining us at the last knit night that I hosted on Discord,
Oh, fun.
and it was, like, a 3-day weekend there, but we had they were both in Halifax, and then there was someone else in BC, and they all had a 3-day weekend, but it was all for a different weird holiday.
Yeah.
With like,
Yeah.
and they were just like, I don't know, it's all like every different province had, like, a different
I
holiday.
know. I know. Like in February, it's like, what is it? It's Family Day here. Like in
Mm.
Alberta, it's Family Day in February.
Oh, yeah, that they were
Yeah.
talking about that, and we were
Yeah.
like, "What is"
I know. I had never heard of it. So until I moved out here. So, but yeah, I think they call it Heritage Day in other places.
That sounds like something, yeah, that I
Yeah.
heard.
I think in Nova Scotia it's Heritage Day because my parents talk about it. But the Heritage Day in Alberta is in August. But in Newfoundland in August, I think that's Regatta Day. And and that's literally you just go down and watch people race boats, um,
Oh,
and eat a
okay.
fries.
In Boston, they had Patriots Day, and they're, like, the only state that has Patriots Day.
Now, would that be patriot for is like for
Not the
or
football team.
or or like oh, Pi Day, right? Oh,
It
dang,
is Pi Day.
it's Pi Day. Oh, dang, it is Pi Day. I meant to ask Ryan to buy pie.
I was gonna make shepherd's pie tonight, which isn't quite the same, but then I changed my mind last minute. So that's my only contribution to Pi Day, which is not a very exciting one. Although I do have a pie tattoo. I don't know if you
Ooh,
know this about me. It's kind of hidden in my armpit a little bit.
pie. Oh my
What's
god.
your favorite type of pie?
Okay, so um, full confession. Oh, dang. Um, I didn't ever have pie until I was like in my late 20s, maybe my early 30s, because I came from a cake family. We
Mm.
had a lot of cake,
Mhm.
and and because of just the way that I am, I was like, I only ate vanilla cake with sprinkles. That was it. So I never had pie, but Ryan is like a major like he loves pie, and so his family always has lots of pie. And I would say my favorite, so I only started eating pie when I started going for dinner at their place, which is now has been a really long time. Um, but this is a very long-winded way to say I think my favorite, I love lemon pie. Like I
Mm.
love lemon meringue is my favorite.
Mhm.
And I love that tart, and I love
Mhm.
good key lime pie.
Mhm.
Like I need that tart, sour
Yeah,
deliciousness. And
yeah.
but if that's not available to me, like strawberry rhubarb.
Oh, strawberry rhubarb.
Rhubarb strawberry. I man, what would you I was having an argument with somebody about like it's strawberry rhubarb, not rhubarb strawberry. If you say rhubarb strawberry, that just sounds weird in your mouth.
Someone said that? I've
It was on
never
the
heard.
box. It said, like, I don't it was like a pie they got from Safeway or something, and it said rhubarb strawberry, and I'm like, "I know, like,
Whoa.
alphabetically, like, if we had shelves of pies, we would be shelving it in that way." But I'm like,
Huh,
"No." It's like
that's
"rue" comes
upsetting.
after "straw."
That's
So
someone who is, like, a chaotic neutral person who, like, was just like, like,
no,
typed it in just to piss everyone off.
no.
Or chaotic evil. I mean, that's up for debate. I didn't really eat, like, fruit pies until I got to college. Like, like, we had apple pie, but, um but there was a pie shop, like, there wasn't a lot of food that was walking distance off campus, but there was this pie shop that was called Chili Pies and Ice Cream,
Oh.
and it was, like, Southwest inspired flavors, so they had Frito, like, they would give you a bag of Fritos, cut the bag open, and just put chili in the bag of
Oh,
Fritos,
yeah, okay, yeah.
which is, like, I think
I've
is
heard
also called, like, a walking taco. in different places.
Yeah.
But their signature pie, which I actually don't really like, is an apple pie, like really tart Granny Smith apples, and then they put green chilies in the
Oh,
pie mix,
dang.
and then there's cheddar cheese in the crust.
Wild.
So that's like not that was not my favorite pie, even though it was like what they were known for, but I would go there um like to get myself a treat during college. And that's when I learned to eat pie. And then I started baking pie at that point.
I
But
wonder
I don't think I could choose a favorite.
I think, like, Ryan is a big, like, I think his favorite's cherry pie just because he loves cherries.
Yeah.
When we got married, we had, I think we had, like, 16 different kinds of pie or something like that.
Oh my, were they like mini or like just huge?
No, no,
Oh my
they were
god,
full size.
what a dream.
Yeah, because we had, like, about 100 people or something at the wedding, and then,
Yeah.
that was the only thing we were, like, so lax and didn't care about anything except for the pie. So the pies, yeah, so we had there were a couple of different pie places in town, and we basically just put in an order and was like, "Okay, we need boom, 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 X amount of pies." It was a lot of pie. It was beautiful, like, the photos are beautiful of just all of these pies.
That sounds amazing.
They're very what is I have no way to oh,
To like respond?
no, I was just looking at my phone. I can't look at the live chat unless I try. How do people do things? I don't have a computer anymore, so I've turned into one of those
Oh.
people that I'm just like, "How do I do things when I don't have a computer?"
I'm trying to find the Discord join link because yes, it is possible to join the Discord, but I have to hunt down the link real quick.
Oh, I think I'm a part of the Discord, but, I'm just looking at the live chat.
Uh, oh boy.
Okay, there. Did it. I did it. Oh,
Here.
there we go. Now I can see people talking now, and I don't feel fun.
Excluded from the chat. Okay, there we
Oh,
go. This is too much. I have like four. I have like the video on, and then I have the chat, and then I have this.
it's a lot of things.
Yes, you are welcome. I'm glad I found it.
Yeah, cause like, on my iPad, like, the live chat's coming up in the corner, but by the time I notice it, cause I have to look down as I'm crocheting, I don't actually it
It's
disappears.
like disappearing, right?
I'm like, I can read fast, but not that fast. Oh my goodness.
I have one time made a rhubarb, like basically a lemon meringue, but it was rhubarb meringue. And
Oh,
it was so good, and it has like a pecan crust.
oh,
And I would recommend that for when it's rhubarb season.
oh my god. You know, I wish one of my big regrets is, like, rhubarb is, like, a huge thing where I grew up, but I didn't like it then, and I don't know, like, I don't know why, but and even here in Calgary, like, rhubarb just grows like weeds. You find it
Mhm.
in the alley and everything, and I didn't realize it was such I love rhubarb now, but I'm like, I didn't realize it was such like, a dividing taste amongst a lot of people.
Mhm.
Like, some people really hate it.
Well, it's so tart.
Yeah, maybe that's why I like it.
Yeah.
But
I'm
you
I'm a I'm a fan of rhubarb, although I don't know much else to do with it aside from
pie discussion.
But also the leaves of rhubarb are like extremely toxic,
Oh yeah, yeah,
which is also like a crazy fact about it.
yeah. I like plants that are delicious but could actually kill you.
Which is why I love following Alexis, the Black Forager,
Oh yeah, yeah.
the best TikTok account.
And
Do you like living in Calgary? That's someone asked.
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
look at that. Oh, Kelsey. Sorry, I really my phone is like on my table, and when I go to read it, I'm like, "Hi." Let me just get really close. I don't mean to. Yeah, Calgary's pretty cool. I've lived here since the year 2000. I've been here
Ooh.
for a while, and I moved here out of high school and with my family, and then moved away for a little bit and then came back. But I like Calgary, and I don't like the fact that it's so far away from all of my family. That's a bummer because they all live in Newfoundland, Nova Scotia. Um, and I don't like that there's no ocean. That's a bit of a bummer. I don't like that Calgary is a pretty dang conservative city. That drives me a little bonkers, especially lately uh, with a lot of stuff. And but other than that, like it's pretty great. Like the cost of living is pretty high, but not as high as say if you were living in Toronto or Vancouver or
Mhm.
something. But it's so spread out. Like the city, like the area of the city is gigantic. Like for us, for we live right in the center. We live downtown, and in order to get to say my in-laws, it's about a 30 to a 40-minute drive. And it's still in Calgary, and that's like not even during rush hour traffic. That's just a normal. That's how far away it's bananas. So the suburban sprawl is intense, absolutely intense. But other than that, like I have a pretty cool job out here, and I like that. Knitting community out here is really strong, and
Mhm.
which is really rad. Lots of really weird artists out here too. A lot of fun. Always getting up to shenanigans. So that's cool. Yeah.
We are both crocheting, Claudia. I know
Hmm.
you'd be excited about that.
There's mine.
Granny Square Land. And then we're gonna make a balaclava. I mean, basically,
Oh
like,
yeah, you're almost there. Put them all in the bias. It'll be
oh
great.
my god.
It'll drape better.
I'm gonna find that shirt that I was. Oh no, I can't because it's a screenshot on my phone. I will find that shirt though and send it to you because I think it would be pretty cool, and I could probably make it completely bonkers by using some of these magic knot balls.
Oh
But
yeah. I think that's like I keep I keep crocheting things but never actually finishing them. It's like I
Mhm.
have like behind me there's like I like this ripple crochet thing that I this was going to be a curtain that
That would be so cool.
yeah, I know, but I lost I now it's just a thing that
Yeah.
I keep there to try to keep the cat from scratching at the chair.
I feel like what really draws me to crochet is that I can play with color in a way that I don't feel like I always can with knitting by, like, doing all of this stuff, and it goes faster,
Mhm.
but it still takes time. It's not like it's, like, that much faster, like, how
No.
long have I been working on this little tiny granny square? I don't even know.
Well, I kind of what I like about it too, because I've been like because I can't quite knit yet because
Mhm.
I don't have the for anybody that doesn't know or anything that I fell and I hurt myself pretty bad and I lost the use of my right arm for the most part and so I can't it's like even the crochet hooks, I had to go out and get a different like one of the Knit
Okay.
Pro ones or something to because the handle is shorter because the other one I was using is just way too long and I keep losing feeling in my fingers. And so I let go of it, and which is really annoying. And that's the main reason why I can't knit, because I keep letting go. And you need,
Mm,
like, I find with knitting, you really do need two hands to do everything, but with
yeah.
you really do need to have two available hands to move the stitches along on the right needle and everything. And I'm not going to become a mirror knitter, because that's just a headache. That's just a headache. Have you ever encountered in now with your, like, knitting teaching fun times,
Mhm,
have you encountered many mirror knitters?
mhm.
How many
Yes.
have you encountered? Do you keep track?
Probably, like, 4
Oh, and how long?
over the course of, like, almost 10 years.
Yeah, okay, that's about me too.
Yeah.
Like, I would say, and, like, true mirror knit, not just,
Yes. The
like,
first time that it
yeah.
happened, I remember very vividly. She was really rad. She oh my god. So she was a therapist, and she had 2, like, young adult children, and they were, like, pretty similar in age to me, and she had just divorced her husband, and she was just, like, so into talking shit about her husband. It was hilarious. Like, she would just come to knit night and just be like, "My effing husband." So she, like, has this, like, stronghold, and so one day, she was like, "I really have this question about this thing," and so I sat down to, like, watch her knit, and I was like, I was like, "Wait, what how have you been knitting this whole time?" And I, like, did not understand. And so the way that we figured out for me to help was for me to sit across the table for her, and
Mm,
literally, she was mirroring what I did.
yeah.
For those who don't know, a mirror knitter is someone who is a lot of times they're left-handed people, not all the time, and instead of knitting like from the right side to the left side? It's left to right? Is that right? Now that I'm crocheting, I'm confusing myself.
No, yeah, have you would have your, oh, crap.
I mean, essentially, they knit as if you are looking in a mirror and watching your hands. That's what their hands are doing. Um, so yeah, so she learned from someone, but she was left-handed and she learned from sitting across from them. So she was literally mirroring what they did.
So funny.
Um, yeah, so and then someone else I just recently met who does that got messed up because the charts are backwards.
Yeah,
Mm.
completely. Yeah, I've taught color work to mirror knitters before,
Oh my god. Yeah.
and and that was, and, like, the big thing from my experience and stuff teaching mirror knitters, 'cause they're always like, "Yeah, I knit left-handed," and I'm like, "Okay, when you say you knit left-handed, like, to me, in my brain, I'm like, do you mean you just hold the yarn in your left hand?
Right.
Or are you truly a left, like,
Right.
you're knitting from the opposite way? You're doing
And that's when people who are left-handed come in, I'm like, you're not really using one hand more
no.
than the other. So it doesn't really make sense to teach you a different way. Like we're all using both of our hands when we're doing it. So, and I'm like, and in a lot of ways, like, anyone who is left-handed knows that the world is basically built for right-handed people, and that sucks. But um this is not really like you need both hands.
Yeah,
Although I will show them how to do like continental
yeah.
because sometimes they just have more dexterity in their left hand, so it's a little easier for them to do.
Yeah, this I remember, like, and this is just recent, I think it was last year sometime, one of the color work classes I was teaching, and like, they were a mirror knitter, and I had to, like, and I didn't sugarcoat anything for them, because I'm just like, I understand. It's like, I have to sit and I have to watch what they're doing in order to help them.
Mhm.
And especially when you have color work involved, and all this stuff. I'm like, there's all sorts of things happening here. And we had a great discussion. I'm like, don't let anybody ever tell you that what you're doing is wrong,
Yeah.
because what you're doing is fine. It's just, it's not the status quo of what everybody else does.
Yeah.
So for finding help, it's going to be really difficult for you, and all of this stuff. But don't let, and I'm like, because I know the way some people can get, where they're just like, "You're doing that wrong," and I'm like, "Your face is wrong." No. It's like
Yeah,
you're fine.
I'm definitely an advocate of that ethos too. I'm like, there's no need.
No.
There's no need for this. And we have someone who says, I'm a lefty and was taught by mirroring. I crochet left to right and always get thrown off seeing right-handers crocheting.
Amazing. I think it's great.
And I do also I've learned how to knit back and forth, because I think I first taught myself when I was doing an entrelac project, like, forever ago, and I was just like, "This is so annoying," so I just kind of, like, figured out how to do it. So I still it's only
Mm,
really more efficient when doing, like, sock heel
mhm.
turns and stuff, so I don't do it very often, but it is a handy
That's
skill.
a good superpower skill.
Yeah. And it has helped whenever I encounter mirror knitters, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Eat. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Yay.
Can you see Moose?
Oh. Aw.
She just puked, so she's very proud of herself. Are you
Aw.
okay? I'm sorry.
We had a bathtub installed yesterday
Oh, yeah.
after like a friggin' year. Hey, Moose.
There's no room for her. Well, congratulations on your new bathtub,
Thank you.
first off.
Thank And it was quite funny because the guy that was putting it in, because it's just like one of those bath fitter situations. So it's just one guy that puts it in. Um, he was very much like an animal person. So Jessup was just all up in his business. And he like he had the tub at one point, like the tub shell, like in our one of the open areas of our apartment. And and the cat was like inside of it. And I couldn't find the cat. And then it was very, very, very cute. But then the guy came out and he had like a saw that he needed to use. And I'm just like, you gotta look for the cat. So he's like the saw, like going like, where's the cat? Anyway,
Stop. Stop, please.
it's cute. I didn't
Okay.
bother to check if this was the right gauge or not for the other square.
Okay. Well,
Let me see. Kind of. It's a little bigger. Oh, oh,
it'll be fine.
it might be a little too big. I don't know.
You're very loud, Moose.
But look at the giant eyes.
Who's that? Okay. Goodbye. Please. 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 No, you don't want to go. Come on. Thank you.
Oh no, I
Goodbye.
think that that'll be. I think.
Yeah, I keep feeling like these are absolutely not what I should be working on right now. But am I still? Yes.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
I have a. Gosh, I have like the giant crochet blanket I'm working on, but that one I have to start the third triangle for it, and I can't remember how to do it, so I have to watch the YouTube video.
Is that the Tunisian crochet
No,
thing?
no, it's I can't Tunisian crochet yet. My hand won't let me. But
Okay.
the
Because it's like so similar to knitting.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was going to be an issue, but yeah, it is. And plus the needle, I got those like fancy lantern moon, like
That
the
have the cord.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And they're beautiful and all that stuff. But the hook itself is really long and which
Mhm.
I know is great for Tunisian crochet, but it's like
Right.
too long for me right now. Um But no, it's the Daphne Afghan,
Okay.
by that Tony Lipsy
Oh, yeah.
person, and, um, and it's really like, it's worsted weight yarn, and you're crocheting, 4 granny triangles that meet in the center. So you have like
Ooh.
4 triangles all meeting in the center. It's
Okay.
it's a free pattern, like, her blog is completely covered in ads, so, like, you have to kind of fish through it, but
Right.
I mean, like, you gotta make money, so, hey, I'm
Yes.
not angry about it, but, she does have a YouTube video that walks through every single step, like, really slow and really, like I don't know why it took me that long to find her YouTube channel, but I'm just like, "Dang, that" like like, I always struggled with crochet, and I don't know what it is, she's just
Yeah.
very
That's
good at
awesome.
explaining it, which is awesome.
Yeah, she did her, like, videos and her vibe and everything are
Yeah,
very, like, very cool.
and normally I get a little, like I shut off a little bit when I know that things are scripted,
Mm.
and it's like, when it comes to YouTube stuff, like,
Yeah.
I kinda turn off a little bit, but I
Yeah.
don't hers, so I don't know.
Well, when it's scripted, it can feel like acting,
Yeah.
and I think there's not a lot of good actors. Like, I mean, right?
Oh my gosh, I can't.
I'm, like, all for the democratization of media, and also sometimes I can't handle. Oh my god. So I wanted to talk to you about this book because I just started it,
Start
and
what?
I didn't read anything
What?
about the book.
What? Started what?
A book called
Okay.
shit, what is it called? It's by Casey McQuiston.
Okay.
Quinston?
Oh, One Last
Do
Stop?
you Yes! Dude, I know you read it, right?
No, no, you
No,
wanna
you haven't read it.
so I have, I wonder if I can turn this here. I have a bunch of books here, and you can see it up there by the giraffe.
Mhm,
Um, the majority of those books up there, I actually haven't read,
mhm.
because, unfortunately, I get it's it's like I know they're gonna be good, or I know I'm gonna like them, and I can't bring myself to read them.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
have
I get that. I do that with, like, TV shows.
yeah, I can't.
Where I just like people like, "Have you watched that yet?" I'm like, "No, I can't yet.
Well,
I don't know what I'm saving it for, but I'm saving it."
it's like I still have not seen Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, same.
I haven't
And
done
also, The Last of Us, I've been like, it's like right here. It's
well,
saved.
I watched that, but yeah, like there I don't know why that is, but I
Me
don't
neither.
maybe it's like I'm afraid I might hate it, and then I'm just like,
Oh,
"No, I don't wanna hate it."
I
I don't know.
I've never thought of that. I guess I just am always like, one day I will need it, and I'll know when I need it, which is like based on literally nothing. But okay, I didn't read the back of the book. Like
Okay.
I just like was like, great. I think that she did the book that was like basically BA Test Kitchen fanfic. I think that was her who wrote. It was like an apron. People were calling it an apron tugger instead of a bodice ripper, which I thought was funny.
Well, no, there's one no, there as I'm
Maybe that's not.
no, there's one called Chef's Kiss by TJ Alexander.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. So,
Yeah,
maybe I haven't read any of her other books yet.
'cause,
I'm doing a very bad job of being a book talk person right now.
TJ Kristen, they wrote, Red, White, and Royal Blue.
That's right, okay.
That was the first one that kind of, like,
Blew
really
up.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then One Last Stop came out after that, I think, and then the other one was, like, this sort of mystery one with, like, I Kissed Somebody Wheeler, something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking
I
about,
don't know,
yes.
and
But anyway, I'm reading this book. I didn't read the back of it at all.
'kay.
It immediately tells you what is going on in the book. But I was like, "Oh, this is like a cute little, like, rom-com," and then it's like, maybe the person that she is interested in is a ghost. And I was like, no, that's ridiculous." And then and then it just, like, keeps going into it, and I read the back of it, and I was like, "Oh, no, they, like, tell you on the back of the book that the cute girl on the train is, like, a ghost." And I was like, so now I'm like, "This is not what I thought this was," but I'm in it, and, yeah, I'll let you know how it goes.
Well, I finished reading, and really, this shouldn't have taken me as long as it did to read. It's a very short book, but uh, Even Though I Knew the End by C.L. Polk. And
Okay.
C.L. Polk, they are Calgarian, actually. I'm pretty sure that they live not that far away from me, I think. Uh, and they're fairly well known in the sort of fantasy genre.
Mhm.
I think their most well-known series is called Witchmark. There were like 3 books, and I feel like it kinda straddled, like, YA, like, adult books,
Yep.
and, the first book of theirs that I read was called The Midnight Bargain, and it was wonderful. It was like a weird sort of historical, like, it almost felt like steampunk, almost, but it was
Hmm.
like this weird Edwardian kind of feeling, but with magic, and, like, the descriptions of clothing and everything are just
Ooh.
like, as a textile person, it was just like, "Oh, I love
You're
everything
like,
about
"Yeah, I'm here."
it." Yeah,
I feel
and and, uh, and so I really enjoyed that one, um, but so when I saw that there was a new one out, that came out last year, uh, and again, got it on my borrowed it from the library, didn't bother reading what it was about. I do that a lot, actually.
Yeah,
I
same, same.
I don't and, and I started reading it, and I don't know, I realized when I was recording a podcast episode on the weekend before I had finished it, and I was finishing editing it, like, yesterday or today or something, and I'm watching it back, and I realized I called it, like, a really queer Dick Tracy, but with demons. And I'm like, "You know what? If we get a copy of this book at the branch that I work at, the library branch I work at, that's totally the little thing I'm gonna put in as, like, the description of it. It's, like, short, sweet, it's, like, queer Dick Tracy with demons, and,
Oh my
like,
god.
that's the way I describe that book. You can read it in 4 hours. It's like a little novella almost. It's not very long. But I very much enjoyed it. It really had this total noir, like, private eye, like
Ooh,
really cool mystery feeling, but then there are demons involved.
okay.
And yeah, I hope that maybe there might be more books because I'm like, I like the characters, so um, I think it might be kind of fun to get.
What's that book title?
It is called Even Though I Knew the End.
And then people said, "I do the same with series like that we do where we hoard them."
Yeah.
Um, I'm saving a pattern right now that I know I'm gonna love. Favorite designer, yarn that feels scrumptious. I do this with a lot of knitting, and people said they do the same with special skeins. They,
Yeah.
like, hoard skeins.
Yeah.
I'm a little less inclined to do it with knitting, but I get the, like, desire. We're all just dragons, like, with our little clutch of precious media and
Oh,
yarn.
that's the book I need to read after. I'm reading like Book Lovers by Emily Henry now, just for fun, just for brain dead fun times. And but the one I wanted to read after that is When Women Were Dragons.
Oh, I really wanna read that.
Yeah, and
Oh, it's
I
good.
have it on my Kobo, and yeah, I'm like in a super like rom coms still love them and all that stuff, but I really veered off into this,
Yeah.
like, I wanna read, like, either satire or, like, that book I read in January, um, that was so weird about this weird, like, women's only influencer.
Oh, yeah.
That was so funny. It was so funny and great and took a twist I did not expect at all. The audiobook was wonderful.
Yeah, I definitely go in and out because I read a lot of cozies,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'm just like, it's like I'm still hungry after I finish it.
Mhm.
Like, it just
They're
doesn't.
like empty calories or whatever.
Yeah,
You're right.
totally. Totally. So I've been, like, making my way through this book series, which, to be frank, is a lot better than a lot of other
Mhm.
cozy knitting book series. The one that I'm reading right now is called Son of a Stitch, which, Kay always says "son of a butch" instead of so
I love
I'm
that.
like, "Here, that will be your catchphrase, and then mine will be son of a stitch." And it's just fine. But then I read, I don't know if you've ever read any T. Kingfisher.
No, but I know, yeah.
Yeah. It was very, like, I think the way that what I've understood about it is that I really like the story, but I did not like the way it was written.
Mm,
Which is kind of a bummer when you're like, "Wow, this is, like, a great story, it's, like, creeping me out," but, like, I just
mhm,
wasn't enjoying the experience of reading it that much.
mhm.
It's kinda yeah, I haven't totally I don't know. I
Ooh,
haven't totally, like, been reflective enough to, like, realize that before.
I
Uh,
keep my exoskeletons to myself? What's that? That sounds
oh,
that sounds like a title I would totally, like, place on hold.
yes, please give us a little blurb. Elevator pitch book. Go.
5-second book talk.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started working in libraries, back when we used to have staff meetings, because staff meetings don't exist anymore. Um, and we would always do these sort of book talk chair type of thing. So everybody
Ah,
would choose something. Because I, working in the children's department back when there was a children's department, and we try to challenge ourselves to read like juvenile fiction and chapter
mhm.
books and stuff, because I don't actually like reading them. I barely like reading YA, and
Yeah.
I love picture books, but I can't. Yeah. Ooh. Oh.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh.
Everyone's adding it to their list.
Oh. All right. Got a little, dystopian-ish kind
Mhm.
of stuff. I like that. Good to remember what kind of times we live in.
Uh, is it though?
Oh, I think these squares might be too big.
Oh no, the yarn is too is it because of the weight of the yarn?
Yeah, it's because 'cause I'm a shitty spinner. So,
No.
I well, I don't know what I'm doing. So, I just kinda just spin yarn together and then do whatever with it.
Yeah, same.
I don't I don't know. My friend Erin is very, very accomplished with spinning, and she teaches the spinning workshop at the knitting store and at the yarn shop, and I keep meaning to, like, even though I know how to spin, I keep meaning to just shadow her class because
Yeah,
I'm gonna learn a lot
yeah.
from you. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to, not table, what is it called? Vend at a yarn festival that's, like, in June, and they have some spinning, like, advanced spinning workshops,
Ooh,
like how to ply. And
that's
I'm like,
cool.
I feel like that's the kind of thing that I need where it's just like the next level where they talk about like, I don't know all the terminology even. I'm just like, I don't know. I just make little tiny singles.
Can you spot my mistake?
I actually can't. I'm not that good at crochet. Oh, wait, at the top?
Yeah.
The hole.
Whoops. I am enjoying how this is crocheting up though. Like, I don't know.
Maybe you need like a triangle shawl or something, or like a little bandana, granny square bandana.
Hmm. 'Cause I mean, like the colors are kind of fun, and they're not. It's like not that that Yarn Hero stuff is like self-striping ish. So,
Ish, yeah.
yeah, spin cycle ish. Almost like a zobber ball, but not quite.
The other ridiculous thing I've been doing is making I-cord with one of these things.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're gonna make
And
a rug, right?
I'm gonna do a rug, but I also was looking at the crochet hooks at the store.
Mm.
And we have like size Q crochet hooks. And I was like, I could make like a granny square rug with this stupidly large. That
I
would be kind of cool, right?
I thought you were gonna say you were gonna make a jacket, and then I'd be like, "Get stuck in the rain and see how much
No.
you can move."
Yeah, maybe not in Portland. But I have thought about knitting it too,
Yeah,
but I don't know, we'll
just
see.
really giant chainette, right? Like,
Yeah,
really giant.
and it's not even like, when we knit I-cord, it's like 3 to 4 stitches, I guess.
Mhm.
This is 6 stitches, so
Nice.
it's like she chunky.
Ah.
Yeah, I'll do some I don't know. But yes, my plan for this yarn in particular, I haven't done the last color because I keep being like, "I'm gonna make a TikTok about," and then I just, like, haven't done it because I feel like I need to, like, record while I'm working on it.
You don't have to record every part of your life, Mackenzie.
It's really hard. As we're talking about this, like, surveillance state book. I'm like, I am surveying myself.
I do,
Ugh.
because I'm expecting to get dementia in about 20 years, so, hey, I wanna know.
God.
I wanna know what I did.
I mean, there'll be a record of me online, that's for sure.
Yeah. I kinda wish, like, um what am I trying to say? I haven't had to apply for a job that, because 'cause I've been at, like, my job now for over a decade, but, like, I haven't had to apply for work in the climate now where, you know, they'll do background checks on you or, like,
Oh
Google
my
you,
god.
like, I'm like, I am incredibly well, maybe I'm not as Googleable as I once was, but, like, I've had a website. I don't have a website anymore, but I had a website and online journaling and stuff like that since 1997, 1998,
Mhm.
and it, like, would put everything online, and I know if you go in the Internet Wayback Machine, I can find some stuff, which is
Yeah.
really weird, but also fascinating. And I also, because I had an online diary, um, what I used to do is at the end of the year, I would print them all off. I would print off every entry on my little inkjet printer. And not even bothering to format it. I just printed out the damn website and then I put it in a binder. And so I still have them like in my giant bin of
I
journal.
mean, that's amazing.
They're in there on these like, which I find very funny. And I know so many people want to go and burn their diaries or whatever that they had when they were teenagers, but I'm just like, I just want to, I like reading them because I'm like, oh, little baby Susan, you just needed I don't know what you needed.
Yeah, I have that, and then I also, like, wrote zines.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
one of those.
like, those are out in the like, feasibly in the world, you know?
There, I don't think that I still have the zine flats. Like,
Yeah.
I know I still have them in a filing cabinet I never opened. I know they
Yeah, it's pretty funny to think about, but then I have moments where I'm like, "God, I should just get off the internet," and I'm like, I have been on the internet like this for for, like, so long. Like, it's a habit that I don't think I wanna break because 'cause I've, like, made really good friends
yeah.
via the internet, and, like, I do feel like I have a cool community, and, like, not everyone can do that. I know that not
Mhm.
everyone can do that, and, like, I don't know, I should be proud of that. And, like, yeah, sometimes it's a hellscape, but it's not all the time.
That was, I had a Twitter account for, like, 10 minutes once. This is
That's a hellscape.
before Twitter went, like, kind of like, "Meh," but I also, I can't handle too many, um, platforms.
Yeah,
That like, get I just can't do it. So I'm
yeah.
like, I only have Instagram and that's it, and I'm really bad at keeping up with YouTube,
Mhm,
because I can just focus on one thing at a time, and, that was, like, my ill-fated Discord that I had that I'm like,
mm.
"I'm gonna do it," and then, I can't. I'm very bad at focusing on too many things at the same time. But, what was my point? Don't remember my point. I
Twitter.
think this was the point. Forgetting. Oh, right. Hellscapes and the so without going into like a whole lot of gruesome detail that everybody knows, but you don't need to bring in because we're having a fun time. Um, but one of the things that Ryan does, and for those that don't know, Ryan's my husband. He reports misinformation and and you know misinformation, harassment, slanderous, whatever on Twitter constantly. It's like that's all he does on Twitter, and he
Mhm.
trolls conservatives. That's like that's
I feel like he might be friends with my brother-in-law.
it's just like you have he's a quiet, unassuming kind of like you wouldn't think this is what he does, but this is what he does. And we had a pretty major incident happen in our city not that long ago. Actually made Fox News. Tucker Carlson talked about it, which is kind of ridiculous. Slow news day, I guess. And the one of there's a local guy here who used to own this pizza place that during the height of lockdown and everything, it came out he was a giant, like, jerk, and I'm putting that very politely.
Mhm.
Um, anyway, I guess he retweeted something or whatever, and then Ryan reported it and for misinformation. Anyway, he showed me, he was like, he managed to get him kicked off Twitter. And I'm like, "Ah, all of that hard work. You're doing the Lord's work."
Yeah, right?
The good Lord's work, getting these people. I mean, granted, he probably only got kicked off for, like, 15 minutes before he did whatever, like, the
Before he could pay $20 to be verified or what.
I don't know. Uh, but still, it was, that was, like, this during this time of really bad stuff that was happening where, I know people that were all involved with this incident. Um And if anybody wants to know about it, I'll share it in the Discord, and I don't want to fully share it here. But it was just like this really great break point where it was just like, yes, we can put our yeah. It's like win.
Kay's job was talked about on Fox News last
Really?
week because they had sex week at PSU. Well, sorry, I probably shouldn't be talking so much, but about the where they work. But anyway, they had sex week with a bunch of college students, and Fox News was like, they're talking about polyamory at PSU.
Polly Pockets.
And it was like, really, you guys? Like, and they went on and on and on about how horrible the youths are being, I don't know, brainwashed for being given condoms, which like
The youths.
it's
Oh,
yeah, it's out of control.
people are weird.
I
Uh,
know.
what's also really weird and really fun, change gears completely. And I want to know from anybody that's still kicking around and like hanging out in the chat. So I have now successfully binge watched all of Taskmaster. All of I have watched seasons 1 right up to season 13, and I'm keeping up to date with 13. I watched them all. I've been home for a month. Ah, um, and I don't and that show is so delightfully stupid. So, so great. And, uh, yay, Rhiannon. Um, but I'm trying to find something that
Mm.
is similar to that, that I can watch. Like,
Have you
I don't
watched the Pottery Showdown thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
because I live with a Gen Xer, we have cable, so,
Mhm,
I we record it, so we've been
mhm.
watching that. Like, that's great, I like that. Um, we also watch, shoot, there's another one that's like a jewelry making
Oh.
one. Because there's a station called Makeful. I don't know if it
Oh.
exists down in the US, but in Canada anyway, it's called Makeful, and they have a lot of BBC, like, a lot of the BBC. Like, the shows are all about making, like,
That's
make
cool.
crafting, sewing, like, Sewing Bee, the big
Oh,
British Sewing Bee or whatever
yeah, is
on it.
on there.
Yeah, and, but I was just like, there was something just so dumb and very art schooly about Taskmaster that just reminds me of, like, the people I went to art school with that were just all a bunch of idiots. But also just, like, this fun, like, lateral thinking that you have to do in order to accomplish these really bizarre tasks and how people interpret them and stuff.
Have you watched, like, I think it's called, like, Small Spaces, Big Dreams?
Oh, that's on Netflix, I think.
I
Eh?
think it was on Netflix. It's
Mm.
like, master gardener dude from the UK,
Mm.
and he, like, it's not really him doing it, though, it's, like, people doing their own yards, and he
Oh,
kinda, like, checks up, and then they do, like, a reveal at the end. Like,
oh,
I think he helps them he, like, hears their idea, and then he sort of helps them edit their idea, and then they do everything themselves,
oh.
which I really like. Monty
Mm.
Don, yes, thank you.
Okay.
He's very sweet. He's just like a grandpa. I don't know. He kinda reminds me of my grandpa, so
Cool. Yeah, like, I like those kinds of I I don't know, like, I have my set sitcoms that I'm, like, watching right now. There's a new one. Oh my gosh. There's a
the
new
librarian one?
Shelved.
Oh my god, I haven't watched it, but I saw that you posted about it, and I'm excited about that.
So, I don't know if anybody else has watched it. I think a new episode comes out on Tuesdays, so I'll
Is
probably
it Canadian?
yeah,
Like,
it's
it's a
Canadian,
Canadian
it's
TV
based
show?
in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and for anybody that's worked in a public library, it's just like, "Oh, dang." It's quite funny. Um, but it is trying to be Abbott Elementary a little bit, but,
Oh, okay, that I was gonna ask you about
yeah,
that.
it definitely has that vibe. Not and that's not like Abbott Elementary, I don't think anything can compete with that. That show is wonderful. And,
Yeah.
um, Yeah, 'cause that was me yesterday. I caught up on all of Abbott Elementary, and, but it definitely has that vibe, but it's this, like it reminds me of the branch that I work in because it's just like, oh, the little branch in a underserved community that everybody forgets and that we're too small to do anything with, and our computers are 5 million years old, and we have our printers never work, and
Yeah, I don't watch, like, sitcoms like that. That's more Kay's realm, but they're not really watching anything right now.
Ghosts. Have you watched Ghosts?
I haven't watched Ghosts. I know of Ghosts, but again, it's just not my I don't know.
No, but I'm like, Kay will probably
You're
watch
like, "No, fuck you,
for
too,
you,
where's
okay?
Kay?" Kay, Susan has a recommendation for you. Ghosts, a TV show. There's a UK and a US version, right?
Yeah, the
And the
US
UK
version is
version.
great. The US
Oh, the US version is good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the US version is great. I really enjoy it. Yeah.
You have to watch Ghosts. Okay. And then talk to Susan about it when you're done.
It's very good. It's like I find that when it's a big feat if I'm watching something and it makes me laugh out loud. Not a
Mhm,
lot of things do, and it's also a big feat when Ryan laughs too.
mhm.
So, and I'm like, there are definitely these points where it's a lot smarter than it's kind of like Abbott Elementary in that way, where it's just like you don't think you're gonna laugh, and then it's just like, oh, um, yeah.
I am excited that, like, in a week or in 2 weeks, I think, Succession is coming back for the final season.
Okay, what is
I know
I don't
that
know.
it's, like, not it is a comedy, but it is a dark comedy.
Okay.
It's basically based off of, like it's on HBO.
Yep.
It's, sort of based on, like, the Murdoch family, am I saying is that right? And it's, like, just this media conglomerate dude and his children are all trying to, like, be next in line to get it, and he's, like, getting older and his health is kind of taking a turn, and they undercut each other, they undercut their spouses. It is, like, so ridiculous, but it's shot in a way that's sort of like a documentary style-ish.
Okay.
So, like, the camera angles and the way that it pans and stuff is pretty comical, and there's, like, these scenes where you're just like, "I like, these people are being so serious, and what they are saying is so batshit." Like, you can't even believe that they're being as serious as they are. And Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley is in it,
Okay.
and he's American, and he's just a buffoon. Um
Mhm.
it's it I we really like, this is also what happens, is I will start watching a show, and Kay is like, "No, I don't wanna watch that." And then, like, 5 episodes in, they're like, "Well, who's that, though?" And I'm like, "Okay," and so then I have to, like, catch them up, and so there's, like, 8 shows that Kay has just never seen the first, like, 6 episodes of, because they, like, start watching and then they get invested, and then I'm like, why don't you just trust me that you're gonna enjoy it and, like, sit down and watch it? So Kay watches the comedies and I watch those in the background, and then I start dramas, and then they end up watching the last half of it with me.
I'm like, the only drama that I've been watching is, yeah, Last of Us.
Yeah, which is another show that if I start watching, Kay's gonna be like, "What's happening?" And Kay, you're gonna like it.
Are you're gonna cry every episode.
Yeah, it's good, Kay. It's not about the zombies.
No, it really isn't. And even
They're squinting their eyes at me like,
it's like I watched we finally watched the season finale last night, and I won't spoil anything. Um, but yeah, I was in tears, and then I was also like, "Oh my god." Then, to which Ryan responded with, "Yeah, his character is kinda yeah." And then I'm like, "Man, Pedro, man."
but
Dang.
also Pedro, like, hello.
Gosh. My algorithm's completely screwed up. I don't know if
Oh my
that else is.
god. It's like
It's just all
it's like every other TikTok is just a thirst trap of Pedro Pascal.
how did it end up this way?
And I'm like, I swear even like every queer woman that I know is like, like that's when you know it has like transcended.
Uh,
God.
yeah, we started watching last night, and I would admit I think I was a little stoned, which is why we were watching it. Um, the it's on Netflix, and it's what is it? Crunk in the history of the world, or
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's like she's a British comedian and is doing this sort of like you know history, world history thing in the style of all of those shows that you'd see on National Geographic or whatever.
I'm looking. Yeah.
And
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, and she does these like she's interviewing these experts about things, and she's just like like deadpan, so serious about things. Then, but she's saying it's like a total Daily Show type of thing, where
Mhm.
like old school Daily Show, and where you don't like, what are you talking about? And I don't know if the experts are in on it. I don't think that they are. And like she did one, I think it was episode 2 or something. She's like talking about Pompeii, and like that a volcano is just like um Latin for angry hill or something. Yeah, and that like when the volcano happened, it showed us like how people in Pompeii had really good skin, and it's just like a close up of one of the people that are entombed, and like I'm like, what is this show? It's so
That we watched something like that, it was for Pride Month, and they were doing, like, a history of, like, queer
oh
just, like, historical figures, but
yeah,
it was, like, the most bonkers way of presenting information.
yeah.
I was like, "Whoever edited this for sure has ADHD." Mm, but there was, like, a whole episode or, like, a section of an episode about, like, queer figures from the US West. And there was, like, a full trans cowboy in, like, the 1800s who, like, kept getting put in jail because they were, like, cross-dressing and, was, like, a total badass, so I learned about that person.
Cool. That's awesome.
What do you remember what that show was called?
The Book of Queer.
The Book of Queer. Where was it?
Discovery Channel.
Discovery Channel.
Ah, nice. Sweet.
It's pretty good. And they were talking about how, like, King James, who is, like, known for his version of the Bible, was, like, extremely queer and sleeping with, like, all the people who were helping him rewrite the Bible.
Sweet.
And I
Whereas
was like, "Excuse me?"
the Bible, Bibble.
I'm upset.
But this whole show is just like she equates everything for like how long ago things were to when Technotronics Pump Up the Jam came out.
Oh my god.
So every so often it's like the episode just breaks, and like the video goes on for like Pump Up the Jam, and it goes on for like 30 seconds with like a thing on the bottom. Like the last one, I wasn't even looking at it, and Ryan just started laughing. I'm like, what? And he's like, it just said that the song is Canada's national anthem. Oh gosh, this show's stupid. I like stupid things. I really, and when I say stupid, I like stupid funny, not like actually.
I saw a TikTok of a girl saying she was like, "I just saw a TikTok of a girl saying she's a non-practicing intellectual."
Hey,
And I'm like, "Yo."
I think that's everybody that like went to graduate school and realized, oh crap, that was a waste of money. And then
Yeah. Like, "You know what? I'm just gonna make, like, a pickle balaclava or stupid granny squares." Like, right?
you
Like,
know,
yes, yes,
yep,
yeah.
yep.
I am very proud about that. I think it's so funny, and honestly, yes.
Ah, I get so many people at work that 'cause there's a bit of a ceiling at my work where unless you have certain credentials and all that stuff, you can't um, progress. If you want to climb that whatever proverbial corporate ladder or whatever,
Right.
you need to have XYZ. And I mean, yeah, sure, that was why I went to library school, kind of. But so many people like when they realize, oh, the only way I can get full-time work or get paid more or whatever is to become a librarian, and like they always ask like thinking about going to library school, blah blah. And I'm just like, why? Don't no. Just
I think the
stop.
best thing that I've ever done is, like, convince people out of going to libraries.
Just don't do it. Unless you and I never talk anybody necessarily out of it, but I'm like, you have to really evaluate
Yeah.
why it is you want to go and do it.
And
Because
that's definitely it, like, I'm like, it was not what I thought it was gonna be.
no, no, no. And especially if you're doing online school. Like online school is a hot nightmare. And I'm sure like everybody knows what online how much of a nightmare online school is now. Uh,
Yeah, I the one class I took that was online, which I thought would be helpful, I almost failed because I was just like, "I can't. Like, this is." I just, like, don't like people wasting my time. And I was like, "Why am I paying so much money to have my time wasted?"
Why am I paying so much money for asynchronous schooling that had no lectures, no group chats, no nothing?
Oh, no, that's bad.
Like, because this is the time before Zoom. So
Oh my
there were
god.
no like you didn't I had one of my friends, she went through library school, like Canadian, but like went through University of Florida, I guess, or something.
Mhm.
And 'cause they had a good, like, I think she got a scholarship or something. And she had certain times where she had to be online to like 'cause these classes lectures were happening at a certain time. And I always thought it was so funny with the I'm like, right, time change, like all these like
Yeah.
time zones and stuff. And I'm like, you can't really go in and do, do your class if you're 2 hours
Yeah.
behind.
We
Mm,
had during like, when I was, like, working at the university and, doing programming for college students, we during COVID, there were students who were at home, like, in India, who would
mm,
have to call in at, like, 3 a.m. or, like, I don't know, just obscene times to be
bonkers.
going to school, and I was like, I I kinda get it, but also, like,
Ugh.
it's just it was just so unfortunate.
The one of the coolest, like, and I don't, well, I have a horrible memory. That's just I don't remember things. Uh, but the what I do remember from my MLIS experience, one of the classes that I was in, there was somebody there, 'cause for the most part, everybody was Canadian that were taking, like, doing this program for the most part. We had a couple of Americans that were doing it, and one of them, she lived in Hawaii, and I'm like, "Okay," and but her job, what she did and, like, when you're doing online library school, most people are already working in
Right,
libraries or archives or doing something related.
right.
She was, like, one of a couple librarians or whatever, at the state prison,
Oh,
and I remember that just being like, "Whoa, now that's kinda rad." like, cool. And it really, I can't remember what class it was, but because at first I was like, "Wow, you're in Hawaii. It must be nice down there," as we're freezing our butts off up here.
Mhm.
But yeah, she's like, "Yeah, I like my day job is working in the library in the prison," and I'm like, "Weird." So I guess you can't
Well,
do your schoolwork there, hey? And necessarily. Ah, kind of amazing. I don't
yeah, that would be that'd be wild.
what a wacky experience.
I had a friend who I met knitting in Boston who I think that this is what it was, that was she played an instrument in the Honolulu Symphony and then got laid off during the 2008 financial crash. And she was like, "Let me just tell you, if you're gonna be on unemployment anywhere, Hawaii is a pretty good place to be on unemployment." And
Oh,
I was like,
yeah,
"Damn." Word,
man. What's
right?
wrong with that? I mean, not having money sucks, but you're in Hawaii.
Yeah. I mean, she was like, "I didn't really have to do much. I just would, like, go to the beach, hang out." I was like, "Yeah."
I don't I don't really remember ever being on a sandy, like, warm beach.
Oh, yeah.
Don't think I've ever been on one.
It's pretty nice.
Don't think like, so I've been to Florida, but I think I was not on the Gulf side. I think I was on the Atlantic side.
Mhm.
And but I've never I'm just trying to think of
What really blows my mind coming from Southern California is that in Boston, or, like, along the East Coast, like, into Maine,
Mhm.
people would go surfing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I was just like Kay and I were in New Hampshire, and there was a surf shop, and we were both like we're
Nova
like,
Scotia.
"What the
Yeah.
heck?"
There's, like, close to where my parents live in Nova Scotia, there is a very active spot for surfing, um, there, and, like, the swells don't get huge, but, I mean, there's surfing all year round, and,
Yeah.
um, yeah, there's a surf shop on the top of the hill and all that stuff, and, I mean, people surf in Calgary, like, in the Bow River, there's, like, certain parts of the Bow River where there's a bit of a wake, and, uh, and you just see them, like, on their bikes with their surfboards on their bikes. I'm just like, and
Can't they go I guess this is in the summer. I was like, "Can't they go snowboarding?"
yeah,
Like,
I
they
mean,
probably
yeah,
do also do that.
yeah, it's but I'm just like, that water is not warm, like, it's coming from the mountains, and I mean,
No.
granted, all the glaciers are melting, so there's very little water now compared to what there was, but, like, it's just
I know Rhiannon is saying that people surf in Lake Michigan, which I have seen videos of those dudes who have, like, ice beards. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just, like, not they talk about, like, the levels of outdoor activity. Like, a 1 is, like, would do it every day. A 2 is, like, it's a little bit of a stretch. A 3 is, like, you would do it once, maybe, but it takes, like, a lot. And a 4 is, like, that.
no.
Yeah, and I'm like, maybe a 1. Maybe a 2.
Aw. I don't think I could ever go surfing. I don't think I could do that. Um,
It's, like, really hard.
yeah, I don't have very good balance.
Yeah.
Current injury, would probably
I that's, like, kind of a horrifying thought.
um, you know, it's like, yeah, the I don't have very good sea legs. I get really seasick. So
Oh,
yeah,
no.
and when I'm on a boat or anything, I get viciously seasick. So
Oh,
it's
no.
I have to take a lot of Gravol when I'm ever on a boat.
You need those, like, you seen those
Those yeah,
glasses? Do you get car sick?
I do. It's I get car sick if I'm sitting in the back. I need to sit in
Yeah.
the front. But it also depends on where I'm driving. So like
Hmm.
uh when I lived in Alberta for however many years, and then I went back to Newfoundland, and Alberta is like straight. The like in more ways than one. It's pretty you're just going in a straight line, and there like aren't that many hills or whatever compared to like Newfoundland, where everything is up and around and da 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 and the highway. So like we went, I think it was maybe the first time I had gone back home after living out here, and we were driving out to my grandmother's house in Twillingate, and it was about a 6 hour, 6.5 hour drive away from St. John's. And I was sitting in the back, and I couldn't handle it. It was just like I grew up there, and I just I used to be able to read in the back of the car and all
Yeah.
of this stuff, and I couldn't. I had to like I think we had to pull over, and then I had to like get out and do some like breathing exercises.
Yeah.
Like, and then like I need someone to sit in the back. I have to sit in the front, or I have to drive, one or the other.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm gonna.
It's such a terrible feeling. Such a terrible feeling.
Where's the chat? Oh, oh, that's how I can do that. Oh, I've just discovered how I can look at all of them. Now, 86 minutes into it, I've realized how I can see all the chat. Please. Look at me. They have a skating rink like a block away from where I am, and every time I go by it, I'm always like, man, I just need to get a pair of skates and it'd be so great.
But then your elbow and your wrist. Was that the same arm that you broke? Oh man.
Yeah. But I really did a good one this time. So
That was always, I was so scared in Boston when it got icy like that. So scared.
it's like I mean, I fall down. Everybody falls down from time to time, but I'm like, I like to think I was being way more careful. But I'm
But
glad.
when you, that ice though, dude.
Well, and this, I don't know, did I, well, ow, as I'm doing that, the, when I fell and it was like the spectacular, like banana peel kind of,
No. Like Mario Kart.
oh my gosh, it was a spectacular fall.
Oh.
Um, and there was this teenager, I saw her walking towards me, and I'm on the ground, like,
Oh.
cursing and screaming and cursing and, like, not quite crying, but I'm just, like, I'm in so much pain, and I'm on the ground, and my headphones had flown off of my head and were, like, 4 or 5 feet away from me, and she just, like, she didn't stop. She just, like, kept going.
Oh man.
And I was just like, I couldn't I wasn't sure if I was upset that she just kept going, or if I was just like, "No, girl, protect yourself. I'm a adult, like, on the ground, swearing a whole lot." City where there are lots of adults on the ground
Oh
swearing a lot.
man.
Like,
No.
you don't know. And oh my gosh.
Ugh.
But I am pleased that the bruise has gotten better on my wrist. You can kind of see. It's just like it's gotten better. It was
Oh
worse.
yeah, it's just slightly discolored now.
Yeah. But I can see my wrist is in normal shape now compared to it.
Being swollen.
Yeah, there you couldn't see the bone there before. It was just like
Dang.
it was it was looked like a sausage or a hot dog. My entire arm is a hot dog.
Oh.
Which apparently I do need to watch that movie that just won the Oscar. Because
Oh yeah, because hot dog fingers.
yeah,
That's all I know.
That's all I know too, because everybody was sending me pictures, like gifts of the hot dog fingers.
You
And
can buy them from
just like
Oscar Mayer now.
they're just like Vienna sausages you put on your fingers.
No, it's like a glove.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's a drag performer and bought a set of them.
It makes me deeply uncomfortable, which is the point.
I think that's the point. Just like, what is happening?
Oh no. Uh, I could like oh, ugh, my brain into an
Stop thinking about
area
it.
I don't really want it to go down to.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I've heard really good things about that movie.
maybe we should agree to watch it. Get over our whatever it is
Yeah,
that we that's keeping us.
I do want to watch it, but it's one of those things. Okay, maybe I'll watch it this weekend because I'm finally able to go get my bivalent booster.
Oh, oh
Like
my God.
finally, because
Whoa.
I hadn't like they weren't available in Canada yet when they were available in the US. So like when I got my booster in August or like the end of August, beginning of
Yeah.
September,
My
it was
God.
just the normal whatever booster it was. And then I had scheduled to get the bivalent one, but then I broke my elbow. So
For
now
sure.
I'm gonna go on Thursday and do it. So depending on what kind of reaction I have to it, I might just be in bed.
I actually
Maybe.
I had pretty bad reactions, but I was fine during the bivalent one.
Yeah.
So
You get the fun.
remember at like the beginning of the pandemic when you guys were so ahead of us? remember remember and we were like, what the heck? You guys have all the things. And now
Right now we have a provincial election coming up right now, and
oof.
currently what's happening is what some of my good pals that are way more up to date with all political stuff than I am. And now there's this thing going around where it's like if you have to get medical things done, so if you have to get tests done, if you have to get a mammogram, if you have to get any kinds of those done, get them booked now
Ugh.
because if the current provincial government stays, we're going to end up having to pay for them. So it
Oh,
yeah, which will go back to when I first moved here. We had it we I can't remember what it was. It was like we did have to pay for a lot of that stuff like, compared to other provinces when you it was covered by provincial healthcare.
mhm.
So like we would have to pay out of pocket, or you had to pay. It was like a healthcare premium that you had to pay, and you didn't have to pay it if you made under a certain amount.
Okay.
And but I remember, yeah, because I think I was still a student, so I never had to pay for it until it disappeared. But it's just
That's like how bonkers is it that in 2023 that like I
but
just
but the opposite side of that, which makes me really happy and hopeful, is that the official opposition, um, the New Democrat Party, they have come out to say that what one of the first things they're going to do is make all birth control completely free. So it's just, and then they're having this big argument now about like, oh, birth control shouldn't like it doesn't cost that much, blah blah blah, and everybody's like, vasectomies have been covered by provincial healthcare for like how long? Forever,
like
all of them.
what?
They've always been covered, and then like an IUD is $500. Like if you and even with insurance, like it's still over 100. Like when you pay for it with insurance, so it's like, give me a break, give me a break, give me a break. So I'm like, I have hope. I have hope. I have a lot of hope, a lot of orange hope. So
I
a lot of
I
orange.
don't like what is yeah. I try not to get too despondent about it because it's like it's just hard. Well, I don't know if you've been watching they've been like trialing a bunch of people for the Daily Show position.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the one with Leslie, what's her last name?
I was thinking of the one with Hassan.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like talking about all of the text messages that have come out with
Yeah.
the Fox News folks, and just like how is it that they are so aware of what they are doing? I'm like, how evil and like without morals can you be to be just perpetuating that stuff? I really hope he gets the position, because I think it's a travesty that the Patriot Act was canceled, because he just does his research so well and he presents the information in such a digestible way. Just really appreciate him.
Man, what is
We'll see.
Trying to do? I always get confused when I'm like, is that 3? Are those 3 double crochet? I can't read crochet like I can with my knitting. And I've been watching so many videos, and it's like I was trying to do like the Tunisian crochet.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, man, it really is a completely different, like, when some folks are like, what's better, knitting or crochet? And it's just like they're
You're
two
like, you
completely different
can't.
things.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, knitting is too hard, I'm just gonna crochet. And it's just like, crochet is so hard.
When I'm knitting crochet flat, I always lose stitches.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because you're knitting it and you're not crocheting it.
I don't know why it's so hard.
It's because you keep trying to use a knitting needle.
Can you imagine? I am also worried that I wrap my yarn like the wrong way around my crochet hook.
Oh.
Like, I saw someone like grabbing the yarn, and I like wrap the yarn like as if I'm knitting.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to this. I just grab
I
it.
think I do it the other.
I think I used to wrap it
Like this.
maybe. I don't know.
Someone who knows better than we do. Who knows?
I just know how to do the basics.
Yeah, same.
What?
Well, sort of know how to do the basics.
Well, okay. I did watch, like, I knew how to make a granny square, but I usually have to be reminded every time.
Mhm.
But I watched one of those TL Yarncraft videos, like, on how to make, like, a granny square. And it made so much more sense to me than any other thing. And it's like the idea of not just going constantly around, but stopping and turning and going the other way, and then stopping and turning and going the other way. And now my crochet squares are like perfect.
I have never heard that before.
I know, right? Because I had learned that you just go around and around, and then I always kind of mess up in the corner. But no, it's so like I did my little corner here, like that's like the little magic thing. And so, when you join it, the idea would be like, oh, okay, I've joined. I'm going to chain 2 and then just keep going around. But what she has you do is you join it, then you flip it, move the working yarn behind, do a slip stitch to secure it and spot in place, and then crochet like chain 2, and then do your 2 double crochets into that space. So then you're never like having to, because I remember before I'd have to like slip. Yeah, the granny square will end up skewed. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah. Huh.
Fascinating.
Well,
I know. It kind of blew my mind.
cool. You learn something new every day.
Well, you know.
I think I have got to go and start making dinner.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what are you making for dinner? What are you having for dinner?
We're gonna do pasta with some sausage, like some hot Italian sausage. Oh, man. Can't say anything around here.
That sounds delicious. Ryan was going to do a HelloFresh, but it's 9:00 here, so I think I'm just going to have chips.
Oh, great. Okay. Kay's like, us too? No. Sounds good. Well, thanks for hanging out. I'm glad that I figured out that we could do this together at the same
Hey.
time.
Lots of fun, and lots of fun. Hopefully everybody enjoyed our random, rambly fun times.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Alrighty. Well,
All
check
right.
it. How do I get out? How do I stop it?
No, you can never leave. Okay, bye everyone. Bye, Susan.